Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another advanced tutorial about auto dishes. In the previous video that hopefully you guys watched, if you haven't, go back and watch that, where I go over basic dish automations and the various types and the various steps. But now, today, we are going to be talking about a more automatic automation, which kind of, you don't put those two words together, but the ones I showed you in the previous episode were automated to the point where you actually have to stand at a sink and wash the dishes. Everything else is automated. Now, that's not 100% automation. That's about 95% automation. So to take the actual act of having to wash, you use what's called a soaking sink. The beauty of soaking sinks is that once you put a dirty plate in it, there's a little progress bar. It automatically cleans one plate in 10 seconds. Now you say, well, 10 seconds, that's not really fast. Well, if you have one, no. If you have two, three, or four, then that's, this is 3 plates in 10 seconds, or one every 3.3, say 3.5 seconds, which is pretty good. Now, if you're doing crazy runs where you're having tons of plates and tons of customers, you're fast, you just have to expand on the modular design that I'm going to be showing you today. All of these items are fairly easy to get. If you start off and you can get a conveyor belt that upgrades to a grabber and you can start copying it or discounting it, by the end of your day 15 or into OT 1, 2, 3, whatever, you could have this amount of items. It's not out of the question. It's just about a matter of what you prioritize. And what I'm showing you today is 100% based on prioritizing some sort of auto dish setup. Now, in the last video, I showed you about how to connect tables with grabbers and go into a dish rack. And this is exactly the same as I showed you in the last video. I just moved the tables a bit just to have a bit more space just to show you that. Again, these designs can be modified as you see fit. The big keys here, these are my demonstration dirty plates. By the way, you will not have these. These will be simulated today by me. Otherwise, you'd have dirty plates on your table after the customers get them relieved. But the concept is the same. This is to show you what this does. So the keys to take away from setting this up is whatever table has the number on it is the table or the section of the table where the dirty dishes will spawn. And you need to make sure your grabbers are attached to those in some fashion. It could be, a corner like this. It doesn't matter. This could go out this side and go up. It doesn't matter as long as they're all connected in some fashion. And then I always have them going into a dish rack. While here you wouldn't really need a dish rack because of the amount of plates that you're sending through the cycle. You're going to be using up well more than one stack of plates to keep this 100% going. But again, a dish rack is always good, especially as a fail-safe, because if you accidentally put something that's not a dirty dish on here, it will stop here because nothing can pass through a dish rack except a dirty dish. Not even a clean plate, clean dish will not pass through a dish rack. So if you put something on here accidentally, it'll end up over here or wherever your accessible area is. So it's always good to have that because once I show you how I set this up, most of these are not going to be accessible. And that's where you get into trouble. So the design I'm showing you here is going to be for 3. For 3 soaking sinks. Like I said, it's very modular. And there actually are a couple designs of how to lay this out. I'm showing you what I would say is the easiest or the most compact way to do it. And they're basically, you're following along here. So you have your grabber coming in. Right, it'll pull off of here. Theoretically, this could be here. This could be here as well. Then you just have to move this one down a bit. But again, the example that I'm showing you is set up like this. So the plates come in. One will go here. One will be grabbed up to there. And then the third one will come and be grabbed this way. This grabber will grab it, go this way, etc., etc. Now, you have to have outputs, of course. So you have to have an output this way. You have to have an output this way. You can have an output on this one. And you can do this a couple different ways, really. Probably the easiest way, again, depending on what your end goal is. Do you want to have it going into a plate stack? Do you want to have this cycling all the way back to the front and have your servers plating your dishes? It's up to you. But this method will work. And then these are just extra grabbers here. And this, I'm working this off of a hot dog run. This is why you see hot dog and various other things here. So the gist is that the plates will come in. One will get put to the middle. The other ones will get put to the side. They'll get pushed into here. These, when they're cleaned, this will be grabbed out of this one. This will be grabbed this way. This will be grabbed this way. And this one will grab this one and put it down here. I could use my mouse to actually show you how that works. So this plate will come in, go straight to here, down this way. This one will go up, this way, down. This one will come across, down, across this. Now, if you want to have a fourth one, you could have it teeing off here. You'd have a grabber pointing this way, you'd have one sitting here, and then it would feed right back into the plate stack. And again, this is a very compact design, as compact as you can get it for having 3 in this manner. You can set them up somewhat in a series, but the problem with that is I don't want to even show you because I don't recommend doing it that way. And I guess the reason why I'm saying about having them in a series is because if you have one of these in one like this, right, and you have the dirties coming in this way, you can kind of understand where I'm going with this. And then you have the cleans going out like this. What happens is that this will feed a dirty. It'll pull the clean, but this one then will then have to wait for this clean to be out of here to pull this all the way through. So it's not recommended to do that, in my opinion, because you're going to have a lot more waiting time, and you don't want to have waiting time for this. Let's see, how did I have this set up? Oh, it was like this, excuse me. There we go, like that, and then this was like that. Okay, cool. We'll swap this one around like this, and there you go. Now, hopefully you can see everything okay. I know the start day thing is up here. It's a bit annoying, but like I said, this is a very modular design. You could turn it up and down this way. You could have it facing this way. It all depends on your restaurant. The restaurant that I'm showing you here is a medium to large size map. It's no means a large or giant map. If you'd have a giant map with all these tons of room somewhere, you could tuck this into a room, because this setup here is basically 4 by 3 with an input coming in. And if you want your input to be here, you'd have to just modify this a bit more and just move that down. Like there are ways to modify this, of course, but you get the idea of how this works. I don't need to show you every little minuscule setup here. But like I said, if you have a giant map, you're playing with 4 players, tuck this in somewhere. Add another one. All you got to do is add another grabber here, just like this. You could put your other soaking sink right here, and then you'd funnel these down, just like these ones here are doing. And like I said, once you start copying things and discounting them, or if you have that type of stuff, this will not take very long to accumulate. If you can copy a grabber every day, by the end of your run, you'll have enough grabbers for this. And like I said, modular is the key word here, because you could start off with just 2 tables. You could start off with 1 table in 1 soaking sink or 2 soaking sinks, and just grab the plates directly from the soaking sinks when they're finished. That's the beauty of this type of automation, is that it doesn't require you to have all of these materials at the start to set up. You can start up little by little. Have 2 soaking sinks that you're manually grabbing from here and putting them in by themselves, which is something that I do quite often. But I'm getting off topic, because the point of this video is 100% dish automation. Now, when you have dish automation set up, you obviously want to do a practice mode just to make sure everything is set up properly. And you see me actually carrying some smart grabbers. Now, you could use smart grabbers in any one of these. As long as they're set properly, they won't jam up, because what comes out of a soaking sink has to be a clean plate. Clean plates can get pushed through these, but typically you wouldn't have a clean plate on that side. Again, these could be smart grabbers. I do not recommend it, because if you end up resetting this and you have a backlog of plates somewhere, it may be really hard to reset this to a dirty plate. So leave them as regular grabbers. If you put something on by mistake, say you're serving ice cream, you put it here by mistake, just wait for it to come down here, or wait for it to stop wherever it stops, pick it up, come back and serve it to this table. So I think I have this set up properly. So what we're going to do is let's go into our practice mode. You can't see me doing it, but I'm just going to go into practice mode. And I have the simulation set up of dirty dishes being pulled in. So please watch the dirty dishes. Don't watch me. I'm just going to remove some of these plates just to show you that they will actually go into the plate stack. So there we go. The first one is in. And now, it does have to kind of saturate itself. But once you're continuously serving dishes, you're going to have dirty. So there's your first one already in. Your second one up here is almost finished. And once you have all three kind of saturated, as I've said, you know, your run is going to continue. Your cooks are making food, you're going to be serving, so there'll be a constant flow of dirty plates here. And as you see, it's basically like this is all it is. If you have each one, like as I said in the beginning, each one is 10 seconds. It takes 10 seconds. If you have three and they're fully saturated, you're basically having one plate every, to make it easy, 3.5 seconds, not 3.33 repeating seconds. And then, yeah, I mean, these are just not getting in here because I don't have any more space to put these anywhere else. But the point is the same. Let's actually go there. So let's get out of practice mode again. This is basically the only, again, 100% fully automated way to do this. You can use your imagination how you want to set this up, but the main thing is you want to have one entry point, which is here for me, or you know, for this, I guess, in a sense, one entry point, and then you want to split your grabbers off from that. With this design, you can't use the conveyor belt because none of these are using a push action only. They're all using a pull and push. This is a pull action and a push action. This is a pull push. This is a pull action only because you're not pushing it onto anything. This is grabbing it and pulling it. So using regular conveyor belts for this won't work, but if you want to have these cycle back to say here, by all means, after you have like these two here could be regular conveyor belts and this would be a grabber or something. You know, you could figure that out for yourself. And as I said before, is you could tuck this whole area. You could tuck this all the way back in this corner. As long as you have enough conveyor belts going to it, you're set to go. And another way you could set this up, which I'm not going to do it, unless verbally will tell you, is say you don't want to set them up like this because you feel this is too slow to pull the plates off. Well, just eliminate these and grab them by yourself. Put them on your plate rack or your dish rack. You could have two dish racks. You could have two of them lined up here. Now you couldn't do it with this design. You'd have to modify it, of course, but nonetheless. It's very modular. I keep saying that term because you could add on and remove pieces as you see fit. You don't have to start and end with this design. But this is a very good kind of starter, advanced dish cleaning automation because it's 100% automated. You don't have to do anything but grab a clean plate and plate your next dish and serve it. I want to thank you guys for watching. There will be another video in this series where I use dishwashers. Now, dishwashers are not automatic in the sense of 100% automation, but you can use them in a series where they are quite useful, and that'll be in another video. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the continued support with my guides, my tutorials, my strategy tips and tricks videos. And yeah, I couldn't do it without you guys. So please stay tuned for more. If there's anything specific you'd like me to cover in a guide or a tips and tricks or a tutorial or automation, please leave it in the comments below. Almost every dish in the game will have an automation video at some point once I get enough materials for each run, etc., etc. But expect that to happen within the next few weeks. Thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you in the next PlateUp Learning the Game video.